Knowledge is the new currency, and the wealthiest people are not those with the biggest bank accounts, but those with the sharpest minds. Every single day, you and I are faced with a choice. Either we grow or we remain the same. Think about it. Your future, your success, and your happiness are all built on the seeds you plant in your mind daily. And those seeds are watered by self-education. Knowledge is the new currency. Is not just a statement, it is a reality of the world we live in today. In the past, power and influence were measured by how much land you owned, how many people worked for you, or how much money you had stored in the bank. But times have changed. Today, we live in an age where information rules the world. The person who knows more, learns faster, adapts better, and applies knowledge effectively is the one who leads, succeeds, and thrives. Money can be taken away, jobs can be lost, and businesses can fail, but the wisdom and skills you develop through knowledge stay with you forever. That is why knowledge is called the new currency. It is the most valuable asset you can carry anywhere without fear of losing it. Think about the difference between someone who constantly feeds their mind with new information and someone who doesn't. The one who learns continuously keeps growing, keeps upgrading, and keeps finding new opportunities, while the other slowly gets stuck in old patterns. Knowledge opens doors that money cannot. For example, many people with average financial backgrounds rise to extraordinary heights not because they had wealth to begin with, but because they had the right knowledge, the right mindset, and the ability to use what they learned. On the other hand, countless people who inherit money but lack knowledge end up losing it all because they never developed the ability to manage it. This proves that knowledge is more powerful than wealth itself. Another beautiful truth about knowledge is that it multiplies when shared. Unlike money, when you give knowledge to others, you don't lose anything. Instead, it grows stronger. In the digital era, knowledge has become even more valuable because it can reach millions of people instantly. Ideas, skills, creativity, and wisdom are shaping industries, creating leaders, and building futures. People are being paid not just for the work they do with their hands, but for the knowledge they bring to the table. That is why some of the wealthiest people today are not the ones working the hardest physically, but the ones using their knowledge strategically. We are living in a knowledge-driven economy where learning something new every day is not optional, it is essential. The world changes quickly, and knowledge helps you keep up with that change. Technology, business, health, communication, every area of life is moving forward at a fast pace. If you want to remain relevant, you must keep upgrading yourself. Those who treat knowledge as currency are always a step ahead because they understand that their mind is their greatest investment. When you invest in books, in learning new skills, in personal growth, you are creating a wealth that will never depreciate in value. Unlike money, which can lose its worth due to inflation, knowledge only increases in value as you apply it and adapt it to new situations. This is why knowledge is the most powerful currency you can ever own. Growth is a daily choice. Means that every single day of our lives, we are presented with an invisible but powerful decision, whether to move forward or remain where we are. Growth does not happen automatically. It requires intention, effort, and commitment. Many people wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect environment to begin working on themselves. But the truth is that growth is not about waiting. It is about choosing. When you wake up each morning, you have the power to decide if you will spend the day feeding your mind, nurturing your body, improving your skills, and expanding your potential, or if you will waste it on distractions, comfort, and habits that hold you back. This choice, repeated day after day, is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain stagnant. Growth is never a one-time event. It is a continuous process. Just like plants need water and sunlight daily to stay alive and thrive, human beings need daily doses of learning, practice, and self-reflection to keep moving forward. You cannot expect to grow simply by wishing for it, nor can you rely on past achievements to carry you into the future. What you did yesterday may have made you successful, but what you choose to do today will determine whether you continue to rise or begin to fall. Every day presents new challenges, and every challenge is an opportunity to stretch yourself a little further. Choosing growth means choosing discomfort because growth never happens in the safety of your comfort zone. It happens when you push beyond your limits, when you take risks, when you learn from failures, and when you dare to try again. Many people underestimate the power of small daily decisions. They believe that growth requires massive leaps, when in reality, it is built through small, consistent actions. Reading a few pages of a book, practicing a new skill for a few minutes, or reflecting on your progress at the end of the day may seem insignificant, but over time, these small choices accumulate into extraordinary transformation. The difference between the person you are today and the person you will be 5 years from now is not shaped by one big decision, but by the thousands of small decisions you make each day. By choosing growth daily, you are consciously building a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. There will always be two voices in your mind, one that tells you to stay comfortable, relax, and do the minimum, and another that pushes you to strive for more, to grow, to learn, and to improve. Which voice you listen to each day defines the direction of your life. Growth is never forced. It is chosen. Even when life becomes tough and uncertain, you still have the choice to either give up or use the moment as an opportunity to grow stronger. The path of growth is not easy, but it is the only path that leads to true fulfillment, progress, and success. Education never ends, because life itself is the greatest classroom we will ever step into. Many people mistakenly believe that once they finish school or graduate from college, their journey of learning has come to a conclusion. They treat education as a phase of life rather than a lifelong process. But the truth is, real education begins the moment formal education ends. What you learn in schools and universities provides only the foundation, the basic tools to navigate the world. However, the real challenges of life, the unexpected struggles, and the opportunities that demand new skills and perspectives cannot always be solved with what you learned years ago. This is why those who keep learning and evolving never fall behind, while those who stop learning quickly become outdated. The world is changing at a pace faster than ever before. New technologies are reshaping industries, new ideas are transforming societies, and new discoveries are redefining the way we live and work. In such a world, relying on old knowledge is like using yesterday's map to navigate today's territory. It simply does not work. To remain relevant, capable, and successful, one must embrace continuous learning. Education never ends because life keeps presenting new lessons, and it is up to us to pay attention and learn from them. Every mistake, every failure, every success, and every encounter with another person has something to teach us if we are open-minded enough to recognize it. Daily self-education becomes the fuel for growth because the more you learn, the more equipped you are to handle life's complexities. Reading books, listening to thought-provoking talks, practicing new skills, and observing the world around you all add to your reservoir of wisdom. Knowledge is not static. It evolves with time. What was relevant yesterday may no longer hold the same value today. This is why the most successful people are not those who once learned something valuable, but those who never stopped learning. They treat education as an endless journey, not a destination. Another important truth is that education is not limited to academic subjects. Learning how to manage emotions, how to build meaningful relationships, how to stay disciplined, how to adapt to change, and how to lead with compassion are equally important forms of education. These are the lessons life continuously teaches us if we pay attention. No classroom can fully prepare us for the unpredictable twists and turns of reality, but the habit of lifelong learning ensures that we are always ready to grow through whatever comes our way. Every day you either move closer to wisdom or further away from it, depending on whether you choose to learn or stay stagnant. The most inspiring individuals in history and today's world are not those who knew everything, but those who never lost the hunger to know more. Education never ends because as long as you are alive, there is always something new to discover, something new to practice, and something new to become. Small daily habits create big change is one of the most powerful truths about personal growth and success. Often people believe that transformation requires massive action, huge sacrifices, or life-altering events, but in reality, It is the little things you do consistently that shape your future. Think of it like a drop of water falling on a stone. One drop may seem insignificant, but when it keeps falling in the same spot day after day, eventually it leaves a deep mark. In the same way, the habits you practice every day, whether positive or negative, are carving the direction of your life. When you commit to reading even a few pages of a book daily, after a year, you may have completed several books and gained wisdom that could change your thinking forever. When you choose to exercise just for 15 minutes a day, over time your health, strength, and energy improve in ways that are impossible to ignore. If you spend a few minutes every day reflecting, writing, or learning a new skill, you are slowly but surely building a better version of yourself. These small habits might look ordinary in the moment, but compounded over weeks, months, and years, they create extraordinary results. The problem is that most people underestimate the power of small actions because they expect instant results. If they do not see a dramatic change right away, they stop and return to old habits. But success in any area of life is not built overnight. It is built through patience, consistency, and discipline. The person who saves a little money every day will one day have financial security, while the one who spends carelessly may always struggle. The person who learns one new thing daily will eventually become an expert, while the one who never bothers to learn may remain stuck in the same place for years. Every great achievement in history is the result of small daily efforts. Athletes become champions not by training once in a while, but by showing up every single day to practice. Writers produce books not by writing hundreds of pages in one day, but by committing to a few words consistently until the work is complete. Leaders develop their vision and wisdom not in a single moment, but through years of learning, observing, and reflecting daily. Small actions repeated over time create momentum, and momentum creates change. What makes daily habits so powerful is that they work in both directions. Positive habits lift you up, while negative habits slowly drag you down. A habit of reading, exercising, or practicing gratitude will transform your life positively, while a habit of procrastinating, complaining, or wasting time will eventually destroy your potential. This is why it is not enough to dream big. You must act small every day in ways that align with that dream. Big change is never the result of sudden inspiration, but the accumulation of small, consistent, and disciplined actions. Self-education prepares you for success. Because life is full of unpredictable challenges, opportunities, and situations that cannot always be solved with what you already know. Success is not about luck or talent alone, it is about preparation. And the best form of preparation is equipping your mind with the right knowledge and skills. When you choose to educate yourself daily, you are building an invisible foundation that strengthens your confidence, sharpens your decision-making, and allows you to respond wisely instead of reacting blindly. Every new piece of knowledge you gain becomes a tool that can be used to solve problems, seize opportunities, and create pathways where none seem to exist. Without continuous self-education, even the most talented people eventually lose their edge because the world keeps changing, and what worked yesterday may not work today. Self-education prepares you to think independently and critically, qualities that are essential for success in any field. Instead of depending on others to guide your life, you become capable of guiding yourself. When you study, reflect, and learn consistently, you develop the ability to see situations more clearly and make decisions based on understanding rather than impulse. This self-reliance is what gives leaders their strength. They are not successful because they never fail, but because they know how to learn, adapt, and grow from every experience. Success is less about avoiding obstacles and more about having the knowledge and mindset to overcome them. And self-education builds exactly that. Another reason self-education is such a powerful preparation is because it opens doors that formal education sometimes cannot. Schools and colleges provide a foundation, but they often teach in a limited way, The world beyond classrooms is vast and ever-changing, and the ability to teach yourself new things gives you an edge over those who wait for external systems to teach them. Every time you read a book, listen to a lecture, or practice a new skill, you are adding layers of strength to your character. This habit makes you adaptable, and adaptability is one of the most valuable traits in a rapidly changing world. Self-education also builds confidence because when you know more, you believe in yourself more. Confidence is not born from wishful thinking, but from preparation and competence. When you continuously learn and apply knowledge, you carry yourself with assurance because you know you are prepared to handle what comes your way. This is why opportunities tend to favor the prepared mind. Many people call it luck, but in reality, it is simply preparation meeting opportunity. Those who invest in their self-education are ready when opportunities arise, while those who neglect it often watch opportunities slip away. The greatest gift of self-education is that it empowers you to shape your own destiny. It prepares you not only for the challenges of today, but also for the possibilities of tomorrow. Success is never an accident. It is the outcome of preparation, persistence, and knowledge applied with purpose. And self-education is the most reliable way to prepare for it. Winners never stop learning because they understand that growth is an endless journey and not a final destination. The moment a person believes they know enough, they begin to limit their potential and close the doors to future success. True winners know that the world is constantly changing, new ideas are emerging, and challenges are evolving, which means the knowledge and skills that worked yesterday may not be enough for tomorrow. This is why they remain students for life, hungry for wisdom, curious about new possibilities, and open to learning from every experience. Their ability to keep learning is what keeps them ahead, no matter how much success they have already achieved. When you look at people who consistently achieve greatness, you will notice one common trait. They are always seeking knowledge. They read books, listen to mentors, observe their environment, and reflect on their failures as lessons rather than setbacks. Instead of becoming arrogant about what they already know, they remain humble and curious, eager to expand their understanding. This humility is what makes them winners, because they never allow their ego to block their growth. Every success they achieve becomes a stepping stone to learn more, do more, and become more. Continuous learning also gives winners the power of adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and industries, technologies, and societies are always shifting. The ones who survive and thrive are not necessarily the strongest or the wealthiest, but those who can adapt quickly to change. Adaptation comes from knowledge, and knowledge comes from learning. Winners recognize that being flexible and open to learning ensures that they remain relevant and capable in every situation. They are not afraid to unlearn outdated ideas and replace them with new ones because they know that clinging to old ways can destroy future opportunities. Another important aspect of never stopping the learning process is the way it fuels confidence. Winners are confident not because they never doubt themselves, but because they trust their ability to learn and grow through any challenge. They know that no matter how difficult a situation may be, they can educate themselves, find solutions, and move forward. This belief makes them unstoppable. Their confidence is not based on temporary achievements, but on the lifelong commitment to learning, which guarantees they can always rise again even if they fall. Winners also use learning as a way to inspire others. Their growth journey becomes an example for those around them, showing that success is not built on perfection, but on persistence and continuous education. By sharing their knowledge and experiences, they not only reinforce their own learning, but also lift others along the way. This cycle of learning and teaching keeps them sharp and influential. The reason winners never stop learning is simple. They understand that the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing, and the day you stop growing is the day you stop winning. Learning requires no privilege, because the opportunity to grow through self-education is available to anyone who is willing to embrace it. While formal education may sometimes depend on financial resources, access to institutions, or social background, true self-education is not bound by such limits. All it requires is curiosity, determination, and the discipline to learn daily. A person with little money but a strong desire to grow can achieve more in life than someone with every resource but no will to learn. The beauty of self-education lies in its simplicity. It is not reserved for the wealthy, the powerful, or the privileged. It belongs to anyone who chooses it. Knowledge has never been more accessible than it is today. With books, online resources, podcasts, and countless other tools, the only barrier between a person and growth is their willingness to make use of what is available. The internet has opened doors for millions around the world who may not have had the privilege of elite schools or expensive courses, yet they have used free resources to build skills, start businesses, and transform their lives. This proves that learning is not about privilege, it is about hunger. Those who want to learn will always find a way, while those who don't will always find an excuse. The greatest achievers in history often came from humble beginnings. They did not inherit success, but they educated themselves daily, using whatever resources they had. Some read books under streetlights, some learned from mentors without ever stepping into a classroom, and some turned their struggles into lessons that shaped their wisdom. Their stories remind us that self-education is not about where you start, but about where you decide to go. Privilege may open doors, but self-education builds the strength to walk through them and create even greater opportunities. Another important truth is that self-education teaches resilience. When you teach yourself, you also train your mind to solve problems independently. You become less dependent on external factors and more confident in your ability to figure things out. This independence is a powerful equalizer. It levels the playing field between those who have resources and those who do not. A person who takes responsibility for their own learning is unstoppable, because no lack of privilege can hold back a determined mind. Self-education also eliminates excuses. It reminds us that success is not about where you were born or what you were given, but about what you are willing to create for yourself. Every day you choose to learn, you prove that growth is possible without privilege. The only requirement is the hunger to improve, the discipline to stay consistent, and the humility to keep learning. Privilege may make the journey easier for some, but the lack of it cannot stop someone who has decided to rise through self-education. Daily self-education transforms identity, because what you consistently feed your mind eventually shapes who you become. Every book you read, every lesson you learn, and every idea you explore leaves an imprint on your thoughts, attitudes, and actions. Over time, these small shifts in thinking accumulate and create a completely new version of yourself. A person who dedicates just a few minutes each day to learning something new will, without even realizing it, begin to think differently, act differently, and carry themselves with greater confidence. Transformation does not happen overnight, but it is the natural result of daily effort directed toward growth. When you commit to self-education, you are not just adding information to your mind, you are reshaping the way you see the world. New knowledge challenges old beliefs, expands your perspective, and helps you let go of limiting patterns. For example, reading about resilience teaches you to handle failure more positively, while learning about communication makes you more effective in relationships. These changes might seem small in isolation, but together they redefine your entire identity. The person you were a year ago will no longer be the same person you are today if you keep educating yourself daily. Identity is not fixed. It is fluid and shaped by habits. If you spend your days doing the same unproductive things, your identity becomes stagnant. But if you choose to learn every day, you build a new identity rooted in growth, strength, and adaptability. The more you learn, the more confident you become, and confidence becomes a part of who you are. The more skills you acquire, the more capable you feel, and capability becomes a part of who you are. Self-education does not just give you tools for success, it redefines how you see yourself, moving you from doubt to belief, from fear to courage, from limitation to possibility. Daily learning also trains your brain to expect progress. When you make self-education a non-negotiable part of your routine, your mind begins to associate each day with growth. This shift in mindset is powerful because it builds momentum. Instead of waiting for big changes to happen, you create small changes that accumulate into a completely new lifestyle. This consistency becomes your identity. You see yourself as someone who grows, someone who improves, someone who is always moving forward. And when you change the way you see yourself, your actions naturally align with that vision, creating even greater transformation. The most powerful part of daily self-education is that it not only changes what you know, but also changes what you believe you can achieve. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary individuals because it teaches them that growth is possible every day. As your identity shifts, so do your goals, your relationships, and your opportunities. You begin to attract better things into your life because you have become someone who is ready to receive them. This is why daily self-education is not just about learning facts or skills. It is about rewriting the story of who you are and who you are becoming. Start small, read one page, watch one inspiring video, write one new idea. Over time, these small steps will build into extraordinary results. Because the real power lies not in learning once, but in learning daily. Make a promise to yourself today. Never let a day go by without growing your mind. Because when you educate yourself daily, you don't just change what you know, you transform who you are.